live. Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna give you a few seconds because sometimes.
All right, so if we're live, welcome everyone. Yes, we are. Oh my gosh, guys.
Why is there audio from the stream? It was muted, but audio still played from the stream advertisement. That's funny.
LOL. So, thank you guys for stopping by. This is the TooGeekyToCare podcast. Today is New Year's Eve. There will be no podcast next year, so we're concluding this year.
Next week, you mean?
Next year we will have more. Next week we won't be having more for New Year.
AJ, sit back. I got this. Sit back.
No,
Sit back.
I got it.
No, let AJ finish it out.
Let me correct and fix myself, okay? All right, so there will be no podcast next week because we all got a busy schedule. I'm going to the movies. Goth Angel looks like she's gonna be busy, and everyone else is gonna be doing their own thing. So this is going to conclude 2016, and I want you guys to at least take time and think of what has happened in 2016 and like what are you looking forward to in 2017. Amanda. So for this year we're going to talk about what we all enjoyed this year and what we're looking forward to next year. So anyways, let's all introduce ourselves. We do this every week. I am Bajuzitsu, aka AJ. Who else wants to
Hello, good evening, and happy holidays to all of you. My name is Tark201. You can call me Tark for short.
And I'm Goth Angel 1129, or just Goth.
And I'm BX Wolf, otherwise known as Brandon.
Okay, so that's all of us. We will be talking about our best, our favorites, what we enjoyed the most of this year. And it's not just games, but we're going to be talking about movies and something else,
Anime.
I'm an anime guy, so I'm going to talk about my anime. I don't know, Tark doesn't watch anime, so we'll let him talk about whatever he wants to say was his favorite thing of this year. And the same with everyone else. So, while we start on this conversation, I want to point out that this year has been really good with games. And there was a lot of games that I played this year. And, I sat down while I was at work and I thought, what was my favorite game this year? And it was one of those brainstorming things. I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that did it. Because Tark just recently said he had to think of what was his favorite movies. But I sat down and thought of what was my favorite game this year, because I think that was a harder decision for me. And so, I after sitting there for a long time, just patiently thinking what was my favorite game. It came down to 3 games. It came down to Overwatch, which Overwatch was so good, right? Then it also came down to the new WWE game. Oh, the new WWE game was so good. But when it was all said and done, I couldn't choose any of those 2. There was this one game that I played earlier this year, and I streamed it. And I streamed it blindly, thinking, "Hey, this game seems cool. Let me go play it." I had played I had played a game like it earlier made from the same company, which was Limbo. And I was like, well, this game, I liked Limbo. I thought it was pretty good. So let me go play this game. And for this year, my favorite game was Inside. And Inside, if you guys, for those who follow my stream, Inside was not only a very entertaining game for me, but it was also one of my most popular streams. And
It should be the front page on Xbox as the most watched stream for Inside for like a couple hours.
Yes. Yeah, and like I had played it the day before that day, and I thought to myself, this game is way too unique, and I want to finish it so bad. And for the simple fact that like I got so enthralled into the game, I continued streaming it. And there's no regrets. I love the game. It's on sale right now with Limbo. If you guys don't have Limbo or Inside, it's like both games are like $18 together. And I say it's totally worth it. Inside was very, very morbid. It was such a morbid game, but it felt so unique in so many senses because it the background, just looking at the art and the graphics, everything looks so nice. It was such a morbid game because of the color schemes. It was really dark, but at the same time, everything like looked very nice, very crisp. The background itself was beautiful. You would go through the maps, and you would see so many different things in the background, and it all looked very nice. And just playing it was.
It's funny because I'm pretty sure there's no talking at all, but I don't think there's even any text or anything like that. Everything was just like pictures and stuff like that. There's no translation for them to do, except for like the menu options.
There was no dialogue. Very.
But I'm saying like even on the screen, like exit signs or anything like that. I don't think there was anything like that. There was no.
No, there was.
On the screen either, was there?
There was. It was very minimal though, and again, what made the game itself was the art and the just the way it looked. All of it looked very beautiful, and again, if you play the game, you guys. Goth Angel was there. I'm pretty sure Brandon was there when I was streaming it. It was all dark. It looked very dark from the very beginning until the end, but it just all looked so beautiful, and it caught my attention so much. I went into this game so blind because my friend had told me you should play this game because it was made by the people from Limbo, and I was like, oh, Limbo was cool. I remember playing Limbo and I enjoyed it. I didn't know anything about it. And he was like, dude, this game is getting like really good scores. You should at least like try it out. And I'm like, all right, well, let me go get it. Got it the day it came out. I played it, and I loved it for just the simple fact that it was just such a nice looking game. It looked so good. I replayed it 5 times. 5 times. Replayed it 5 times, got the special ending and everything, and it was just like I don't regret it because it was so good. So Inside was definitely my game of the year, just because I enjoyed it so much, and Inside was just fantastic. I loved just playing it. It was such a unique game. Again, it was gripping. It was morbid. You could see see how unique it was just because of the style of the art and the way it was made. And that's my game of the year. And if you haven't played it, go ahead, try it out. It's on sale right now. I recommend it to everyone. You will play it and you'll be like, wow, this game is so unique. And
Like Limbo. They're both really, really good games.
yeah, both of them. And you will replay, like, you will replay them because you get the want to complete it all with like having done everything, and that's the first playthrough. I was like,
And
okay.
those are also really fun games to watch, by the way, guys. Like when I was watching Age, I literally sat there. I don't know how many hours we were sitting there, but I was sitting there for hours with AJ just watching this game. It was fun to watch.
Yes,
It is.
definitely. It was. Considering the amount of people that were there too, I think they all agreed.
Yes. So, that was my game of the year. I recommend it if you like games like that. It's a very thought-provoking game.
Yeah, just remember that you might cringe almost the entire time.
Yes.
It was a bit disturbing.
Yes, it was.
Because the whole time I was watching it, I was just like, ugh, what is this?
It was really good. So
Couldn't look away though.
It was a really good game. So I definitely recommend everyone who hasn't played it, go ahead. If you want to watch someone else play it, I'm pretty sure there's other people that have. But it's a really good game. It was my most popular streamed game, and it's at that time it was Overwatch. I was playing a lot of Overwatch, but when I played that, I was like, yeah, this game was just really good. So, all right, what about you guys? What was your game of the year this year?
You guys want to grab this?
Alright. Fine, I'll go. Actually, the most frequent game I've been playing this year was, as some of you probably seen, Stardew Valley. And I got that game pretty recently. And at first I had it just sitting in my inventory because I was like, no, this is a game in which I want to sit down and get into it. So I waited for a while to actually play it, but then when I played it, I was like, oh my gosh, constantly on it. Like, this is a game that I knew I was gonna like because just for the simple fact that I liked games like Harvest Moon, Story of Seasons, all those farming simulator games, I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed them the most because they had a sort of dating aspect to them as well as the farming. So it was like there was multiple things to do within that game. And also for Stardew Valley in particular, the dungeons, or I would say dungeons because they're not really mines when you think about them. But when in the game, when you go to the mines or the dungeons, as I like to call them, you can like fight things in there. Like there's slimes you can fight and all other creatures that you meet along the way. So it was like you had a bit of like action in it as well, you know, like it had multiple themes just that one game, which I found really unique because typically when I play farming games, it's just simply farming or you have a mining aspect usually, but it's very minimum. It's not something that like is a huge part of the game. It's a huge part of your income in the game, yes, but it's usually not something that's very fun to do. It's like, I just need a mine to make some money, you know? But with that one, it became a thing where it added some sort of difficulty level to the actual game. So it made you more interested in it. And like, the way that Stardew Valley and most farming games work is it's sort of like a daily time management thing where like if you go to the mines, you're pretty much going to be there all day. So that's like a waste of your entire day. So you have to like basically plan out every single thing that you're going to do in Stardew Valley, or else, you know, you're just wasting up an entire day doing that one thing pretty much. So it's very much of a time management game as much as it is a farming game and a dating simulator and a sort of dungeon simulator as well. So yeah, it has really good aspects to it. I say at least try it once because some people think that they're not going to like a kind of game like that, and sometimes they do because they end up getting really, really addicted, like me. So yeah, that was definitely one of my games of the year because I recently started playing it and I just enjoyed it so much. So that's pretty much it for me.
I mean, I've seen Stardew Valley played. I think I saw it on your stream, and it definitely looks entertaining. It's out on the Xbox, and I want to get it. I like playing those indie games, and the aspect of Stardew Valley is very unique.
Yeah, that's the thing too. For an indie game, it was really well made.
Yeah,
Like, I wasn't expecting it to be that well made. I thought, this is gonna be kind of bad because it's like just an indie game, you know. But they really impressed me. Actually, I really did enjoy it like a lot. I think I actually enjoyed it more than Story of Seasons, and I really like that game. So to me, it's like a little more of a simplified version of Harvest Moon and Story of Seasons, but with added stuff. So that's always a plus right there. And I say simplified because there's way less town members to keep a track of, but it's still just as fun.
And that's one of the things I'm seeing right now. This like is Stardew Valley and Inside. Those are two indie games.
Yeah. And
those two games this year have been huge.
Oh, definitely. I've seen a lot of streamers stream Stardew Valley.
Yeah, and well, like I said, when I was streaming Inside, a lot of people showed up and watched it, and it was fun because like it's like the indie games, like you can tell these guys are putting a lot of effort into their games.
Yes.
And they're doing things that a lot of people like watching, and not only like watching, but they like playing as well. So you have all these thoughts put into these games, and it's a lot of indie developers that are listening to what the fans like in games. So they're putting that in. And Tark, you got another indie game that you just said a while back that was one of your favorite games, which was Dead by Daylight. I don't know if that's your game of the year, but Dead by Daylight is such a popular game this year. It's played a lot, and again, a lot of the indie games just have been really, really.
They're soaking up the spotlight. Definitely.
They are. They really are. And I'm looking forward to more indie games in 2017. So, Tark, what about you? What's your favorite game this year? What's your game of the year?
Well, personally for me, I haven't really played many new video games of this year, but if I had to pick one, I guess the one that really stands out besides Dead by Daylight is Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And I really like that one because, well, I really am a huge fan of Mirror's Edge in general, the first one. And Mirror's Edge, the first one, is actually one of my all-time favorites. It actually is, and I really like it. And a lot of people, I remember when it first released, back when it did, not many people really liked it because, well, it was different. People thought it was difficult, and combat was clunky, and there's a huge learning curve in the first Mirror's Edge. But if you get the hang of it, because that game is meant for you to be played multiple times, so you can get the hang of it, and nothing is meant to be like, they want you to go a specific way. Like a lot of the places you can actually take your own route to get there. And so I really liked it, and I've always been waiting for another Mirror's Edge since. And then with the almost 10 years later, we get another one, and it's a complete rebooting continuity after only one game, but that's okay. We see that all the darn time. And so when I played it, it's funny because even to this day, a lot of people still have a lot of hate for Mirror's Edge Catalyst. And the hate, believe it or not, all that dislike for Mirror's Edge Catalyst is the same dislike that they had for the first game. Once again, there is a learning curve. Combat, again, is too clunky, and it slows things down, and there is no story. Well, the thing is, if you want to talk about in-game story, yeah, there isn't much. But if you look at it from the outside and how it connects to our world and how it connects to our society on a political level, similar to the first game, there is a lot being told at the moment. And it's funny how a lot of people are having the same issues about the combat in the second game when it was significantly easier. Like, yes, the combat in this game is significantly easier, but a lot of people thought it was clunky because when you encounter a new enemy that requires like a new way of defeating him or her, it slows you down and the flow is ruined. But I really like this game because it really is one of the most gorgeous things I've seen, gorgeous video games I've seen ever. Even if you hate this game, people always praise the visuals, the gameplay, as in the mobility part, and minus the combat, and the soundtrack. It's very good. And me, I'm more of a fan of like strong writing and artistic value. So I really do like this game because, well, one, I do like the story that is trying to be told in like how it's trying to give off more of a political message, and I really like the artistic value in this game in general. It looks great. I love the colors, and everything about the visuals is just makes it great. And so it also really does have that, how do I say it? That I don't want to say realistic part, because I want to say the first Mirror's Edge, when it comes to parkour, it was more realistic than the second game. But I guess that's what fans were asking for, to make it less realistic, so and make it more of a game rather than a parkour simulator. But that I enjoyed both, and it is what it is, and so on. But like I said, when it comes to all these video games, I really do like how I really do care for the writing. I do not just look at, the gameplay and the artistic style and all that. And that is why I know the video game, The Last Guardian, is very polarized right now between, the hardcore gamers and the people who are in it for like artistic direction and all that. I really liked The Last Guardian as well. It was really great. But Mirror's Edge Catalyst for me, that was like, I think that was the only time this year I actually purchased a video game full price on release date. Yeah, Mirror's Edge Catalyst was the only one I've done for this year, and I still play it to this day. And there's no news of another one, but if they were to make another one, I'm just saying I would be excited, and I'll just play it again, and I'll hopefully give DICE my support and see what happens.
All right, Mirror's. I mean, I liked the first Mirror's Edge. It was very unique. It was one of the first games that had really fast, pacey movements on first person, so I enjoyed that. But I did play a little bit of Mirror's Edge Catalyst, and it had the same movement, but yes, you did say the combat was much different, and yes, you had to learn how to do everything all over again, which made the game more unique because it brought new things into a game that was already fresh and new when it first came out. So I like the pick, and I think there will be more. Mm-hmm. And we'll see what comes to the table for more Mirror's Edge. Someone just mentioned that there will be comics coming out, and
oh no, the comics are already out. Yeah. So when it comes to the first Mirror's Edge, there's comic books for that, and the second one, there's a comic book that takes place before the Mirror's Edge Catalyst. Because in Mirror's Edge Catalyst, Faith starts off; she's just being released from juvie, and the comic books explain how she gets there. And if you're thinking, oh, it's not canon, it's actually canon. But that's not the end of Mirror's Edge. We're actually getting a Mirror's Edge TV show sooner or later.
Okay.
That's interesting.
Wow. Yeah, that is.
I hope that goes well.
Yeah.
Something about Mirror's Edge, like when I was watching and playing through the first one was difficult because it was so realistic, like you were saying. But that's what I liked about it. I was just like, okay, at least I don't feel like this is a bunch of ridiculous nonsense when it comes to what's supposed to feel realistic about it. Like, if I wanted it to not be realistic, I would say, okay, give me a jetpack, I'll just jump across the buildings instead. How about that instead? Or give me a helicopter when you're a rebel group with no financial backing at all, jump out of the helicopter. No, instead they're runners, and they jump from buildings, and I thought it was really cool, and you had to, like, jump and grab onto stuff, and you could miss it by like an inch, and I was like, no, I can't call BS on it because no one can just magically extend their arm to just grab something like that. They can only.
I mean, the only BS you could really call on that is video game BS. Other than that, realistically, you would not have got there.
Yeah, that's the thing, because the main character, Faith, she's not a combat specialist. Their superpower is just being able to run at the speed of us if we're on roller skates and all that. And like a lot of people in the first game, they felt like whenever they entered combat, they want to rush them down, like it's Kingdom Hearts or something.
You can't do that, and then
can't.
that was the thing I liked about it a lot, was just that you're not a combat specialist, you're not going to be shooting guns very well, you're not stealing guns, because someone like her who's never handled a gun, her trying to fire a gun, she'll hit everything in the general vicinity of your screen, especially automatic weapons and everything. And then you're fighting these huge guys. What are you going to do? Just run up there and try to punch them down? Like, you really had to mess around and jump around with the combat. Avoid gunfire, because it's not like other games where it's just like, it's okay, you're a bullet sponge. I liked it a lot for that reason. I didn't get a chance to play the second one. It's something I do have to do. I thought it was a really cool set of games, though. And I liked it for the fact that it was a little more realistic.
Yeah.
It brought an interesting view. And I feel like the views and the way they did the game would translate really awesomely into a series, especially like a live-action series. Better than some other games and stuff like that they've done before, where they're like, this seems like a good idea, right guys? It's a really popular game. We totally translate this into a TV show. And it bombs because it was
Or better yet, a movie.
and it just bombs because they try to get literal aspects of the game into a show, and it's just like, no, this doesn't work. Sorry, this doesn't work.
Yeah.
All right, so last one, Brandon.
I would say of the year, I would have to give two, just because one is the game that I played the most this year, and I'm not talking about like the games I play every year, like Skyrim and League of Legends, which I've been playing a lot of.
Hold on. Before anything, Skyrim's not Game of the Year because that came out.
That's what I just said. I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
those are games I played the most this year, but I can't say those games because
No,
they came out ages ago.
No, I don't want to hear. Oh, Skyrim's Game of the Year this year because the remaster edition came out this year.
Yeah, that's
So,
like saying BioShock is Game of the Year because it got that HD collection.
I was saying that AJ is agreeing with, but is somehow trying to argue with me while agreeing with me at the same time.
No.
I said
Well, let him finish, AJ.
I can't even get my sentence out. I said it's neither of those games, even though I've played them the most, could be Game of the Year because they're older games. They're games I play every year. The games I've been playing this year, this one hadn't come out this year, but it's been making a lot of updates. It's been getting much better. Right now, it's still in early access though, but in the state that it is currently in, if you want to set up a private server or something like that, because I don't recommend public servers. 7 Days to Die is a good game to play. It is a lot of fun, though it can be a little crazy in a lot of ways. Right now, and my friends, our private server, we're in the process of trying to disable zombie dogs.
Nice.
Because zombie dogs, even though they have low health, their hitboxes, because they're basically skeletons, like they're just so thin and so small, it is nearly impossible to hit them without expending all of your ammo. And expending all of your ammo just attracts hordes. So right now we're trying to disable the zombie dogs because literally we've killed everything, even things that are supposed to be mini bosses. We've killed them with less struggle and less hassle than those dogs. And those dogs are common enemies.
Oh my gosh.
Rip.
Like, they are insane. And they do a massive amount of damage. Even meleeing them, it takes a couple of hits if you hit them, because they run around you in circles. It's just, like I said, they're insane. They're ridiculous. So right now we're in the process of disabling those. But other than that, though, it was a really good game. It was very entertaining. We've played it for a long time and stuff like that. Then we got to making our own world and everything. It was really cool. The PC version is definitely a really good version because of that too. You can change the game, modify the rules. Like right now, we're changing around the rules and stuff like that of our games. It was fun. But the game that is new this year that I played a good amount of, I absolutely love it. I need to play more of it, but me and my friends all want to play it together. We got to sync up our schedules. It is an absolutely ridiculous game. Is Shadow Warrior 2. If you guys haven't played it or anything like that, watch the trailer, because the trailer is honestly what sold me on getting the game. It was so
Nice.
ridiculous
Mhm.
And after watching it, I was like, is this like playing a Deadpool video game? Like not the Deadpool video game, which is just like an RPG adventure. I mean, like, is this supposed to be like Deadpool, where oh, give me 1 second, guys. All right, there we go. So is it supposed to be like Deadpool, where like you're this ridiculous character who has all these powers and stuff like that, and you make all these terrible jokes and all these terrible innuendos, and that is exactly what it is, and it is hilarious as all hell. You get all these ridiculous weapons, and everything is somehow worked back into a penis joke of some kind. The character identifies himself rather than his first name or rather than an alias. He just simply goes by Wang.
Oh my
And
god.
his sword is called Little Wang.
Wow.
Of his sword, which
That
is
was
called-
super creative.
He's a golden version of his sword, and I thought at first, I was like, is he gonna call it Golden Wang? No. He's too clever for that. It's the Golden Shaft.
Oh my gosh.
Everything.
That is great.
Everything
Well
is
then.
so hilarious, and everything is puns and innuendos and being super cheesy and just saying like the worst thing you could say to anybody. Like he walks up to this woman who's supposed to hire him for a job, and he goes, "Oh, great, it's you." And then he sees somebody he knows. He's like, "Oh, hey, dude, how's it going? I didn't know you worked for this super nice lady."
Oh my
Really
god.
stammers on about to curse at her and stuff like that. He's just like, "Oh wait, she's the one signing my paycheck. Can't insult her to her face. I'll insult you later," which he does do that.
Oh my gosh.
But it's so, and then like when he's supposed to be fighting these two bosses, he baits them to a different room, walks around them, locks them out of the area he's in. He's like, "Okay, there we go. I've avoided a boss fight. I'm gonna leave now."
Oh wow.
Like, he's a hilarious character. The game is hilarious. The soundtrack
Sounds like a funny game.
yeah.
I like the first Shadow Warrior, so
This one is absolutely awesome. It's just huge bumping graphics and a continuation to the nonsense that he does. But it's absolutely hilarious.
okay. So I want to get these things quickly out the way. So since we explained our games, movies. What were your favorite movies this year?
Anyone want to go first?
Yeah, you go first because you're not a movie person.
Alright,
So.
I'm not a huge on movies, and I barely see them because honestly, they're really pricey to go into movies to see half the time. And I'm really cheap. So, but one movie which I recently saw because of a special, event. I went to go see Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, and it was really a good movie. I really did enjoy it, and I think I most enjoyed it because I was like, even though it's in like the Harry Potter universe, it's not like you didn't have to see Harry Potter to understand the movie. You could just go in there, watch it, and enjoy it for what it was. And that's exactly what I did. And not only that, but like I liked the time zone in which it took place. Because like I don't know, it appeals to me so much. So when I was watching it, I was like, oh my god, that's so cool. Like constantly in my head, I'm just like, oh, I'm like just so excited while I was watching it. So I was just constantly like making comments on how everything there looks awesome and how the entire movie played out. And all in all, from beginning to end, I loved the movie. And it was just something that I went in knowing I was gonna like it already just because of the way it looked, and then I came out still liking it just as much. So those are one of those movies where like at least if you paid the money for it, you're basically guaranteed to enjoy the movie. So that's something in which I really appreciated about the movie, and that's something that I would definitely look forward to seeing something like that again. Who knows? I might actually just watch the movie again. That's how good it
I
was.
agree. It was a really great movie. It touched
It's
on a lot of
extremely
stuff.
interesting.
I felt like it was a great story that was very separate in a lot of ways from the main series. And the second I mentioned that, a lot of people were like, "Well, no, it ties directly back in because they mentioned
not
these
directly.
characters." And it's like, okay, they
You don't
mention
actually
these
have to know
people.
who they are.
Yeah, they mention these people. You don't see any of them or anything like
Yeah,
that
we don't.
directly. They're not directly main characters. But I mean, it's literally like a separate thing. But it's still in the same universe, so it's still a great universe to do a bunch of stories in. It doesn't have to just be that one storyline, you know?
Yeah, to me, it was a very fun-loving movie. You know, like it was something that you could just casually go to the movies and then just enjoy it. You know, and laugh at all the funny scenes. You know, just enjoy it for what it is.
Now, before I get crucified by hardcore Harry Potter fans, I've never seen a Harry Potter movie.
Or a book. There was also
Okay,
a
I
book
actually never
first,
read any of the
man.
books, and
What?
I think I stopped at
It's a
like
book.
movie 4 or something like that. You know, so I never finished the entire movie series. So I didn't really mind going to see this movie regardless of that because I knew it wasn't like something that you needed to do
What
in
is
order
this
to
book
understand
you're
it.
talking about?
AJ is half goblin. He believes that books are evil, so he cannot read them nor even bother to try to understand them.
Which is
That's
sad because a lot of these books are so much, if
They're
not
very,
always, better than
they're
these
very
films.
entertaining and interesting. I'll say that much.
books.
Tark,
I had someone
you're
read
pressuring
me
AJ
some
against
of
his
the books.
beliefs.
Books.
Yeah, the point being though is that that movie was great and I loved it. And that's definitely a movie of the year for me.
No,
So-
well,
We
I
have to
didn't.
do a continuation to it. And
Oh
finish
yes,
it
I
before-
definitely want to continue.
I had never seen Potter, so I was like, ugh, I'm gonna go watch a Harry Potter movie. What the hell? And pleasantly surprised. So, what else can I say? I liked it. So, good
And it
movie.
was and it was also written by Rowling herself, which is interesting because it's rare that we have a writer from the original source material actually go outside their medium and write
Yeah.
something else. And I
That is
actually
very
thought it was really unique that she actually
true.
agreed to, instead of it making another book series, she turned it into a screenplay, which is I thought was a really interesting idea from Rowling, coming from somebody who read all of her books, and I thought it was really interesting, her style of, what she wanted us to show and everything. And so, as me, I am a Potterhead. I did enjoy this film as well. It was really
Yeah,
nice.
and I like that they kept their same thing. Like you can very much feel that it was still in the same world. You know, like it was constantly there.
Even
You
when you
always
get
felt like
to
you were still
worlds
watching
like
a Harry Potter
humans
movie.
and everything like that, like non-magical humans and everything.
Oh yeah,
it's
definitely.
all still there. But it's funny because like Tark was saying, it's actually written by the author of the original series, which is very unusual. It's always somebody takes a book and then translates it to a script through their eyes or their understanding and everything like that. And that's how you tend to get, like, because you can't have everything. That's how you tend to get that loss where people are like, no, this little tidbit was kind of important and I'm surprised they cut it out. It's like, to that person who translated it to that medium, they felt that wasn't important. And that's usually what ends up happening.
Yeah, I think that's why you can appreciate her a little more because she did this.
Yeah, and then people usually, when the translation ends up bad, it's like, oh, it's the author's fault. It's like, no,
Exactly.
You can't blame the author because they didn't translate every little bit of information, or that they didn't translate it in the way that you saw it. But it's how the writer interpreted it. It's how the writer wanted to. It's how the writer wanted to put it out. But now the author is actually writing it. There's no interpretation. There's no gray area. There's no mishap in the shaping of the story or anything like that in any way, shape, or form. It's directly what the author wanted to write, but it's also just really weird because it's not something that's really done. I thought it was really, really cool, and I think she did a absolutely fantastic job. I would love to see more work in this field.
It's the first of 5 movies.
I want to also see how
I would probably
is she
watch
gonna
all of them.
translate it back into a book. I don't know if she is.
No, she won't. She won't. No.
I would have liked to see.
I mean, she wrote so much already, so.
So normally we see a book
Books!
into a movie. Now I want to see if we can turn a movie into a book. I think
That'd be pretty interesting, actually. It
And
was,
we've seen that before throughout
Did they do
history.
Star Wars?
yeah, but with her, especially.
Yeah, with her, yeah, that's another thing.
Because she's extremely creative. Like, that mind of hers is amazing.
Okay, so Brandon, what about you? What was your movie this year?
It's got to be one of the hero movies. That's just me. I want to say it's the the Deadpool movie. Yeah, it was absolutely
It was awesome.
great. It wasn't a cinematic masterpiece, but it was the best Valentine's Day movie I've ever seen in my entire life. It was also the best birthday movie I ever seen.
Exactly.
In my entire life, it was absolutely perfect. In so many ways, it was perfect just because it was so silly, so ridiculous. Ryan Reynolds did it exactly how he wanted to do it too. He's putting up such a fight for the second one now too. Apparently, there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, he's getting really picky about how Deadpool's being depicted. He's really into the whole Deadpool being a pansexual thing, and he's really fighting for all the weirdness that is Deadpool. Like,
I hope he gets it his way though, because it's like that's his thing, you know. He knows what he's doing.
Absolutely, he's such a ridiculous human being that he's absolutely perfect for this role. And I'm really glad they translated this. I would have liked Deadpool to have like a mini series or something like that. But
Oh, right.
Is perfect.
Even better.
Yeah.
So I mean, if I'm correct, Paul Rudd has a hand in Ant-Man with the writing. So I'm assuming that
I think so, yeah.
Ryan Reynolds also has a hand in.
He doesn't have a hand in the writing. I think it's the directing. He's pushing for stuff in the writing. He's asking, like he's just making requests. But I think he's really focusing on like trying to influence the directing more than anything. And he's just like, hey, can we try to like make this feel and look a little more like everything has to be sexual or aggressive or sexually aggressive with Deadpool. That's Deadpool, you know?
It is.
Or it just has to be ridiculous and clowny. I would have really liked it if they had Death appear, but he doesn't fully die in this movie as Deadpool. That's really hard to explain. But yes. I really want Death to appear, hopefully in the second one. I don't think it's going to be his love interest. For those of you who don't know, Deadpool has a romance going on with Death itself because they can never be together. And so that it's a forbidden love because she can't take somebody who can't die.
Yeah.
And he can't die ever. Well, I mean, they've
Crazy.
there's ways they've killed him before, but it's so impossibly difficult to kill him that it's just like a forbidden romance, and she's just always telling him like, oh, someday I'll have you in my hands, and so on and so forth. It's adorable, but it's also hilarious because it's Death.
Yeah, that sounds like an interesting concept for a love romance.
Absolutely. And then like there's ridiculous things that he does in the movie where he's just like, oh, I'm gonna fight Colossus, this giant guy made of metal. He like breaks every limb trying to kill him, and he's just like can't even hurt him. It's just hilarious as hell.
Yes, indeed.
I enjoyed.
Definitely
Deadpool.
a movie that I enjoyed myself, and I didn't think I was gonna, but I was like, oh, this is really great.
For those who didn't know, that's the highest grossing R movie up to date. So,
Did not know.
There you go.
Oh, I did not know that. I thought,
Aha.
so it beat Passion of the Christ. Okay.
No, it beat out Straight Outta Compton, which was actually the highest. It was Straight Outta Compton is the second highest grossing R movie. So, Tark, what about you? What was your movie of the year?
Well, this is interesting because throughout the past few weeks, I've been jumbling around in my mind was like, oh, what's my top 10 favorite films of 2016 and all that. And even though I was jumbling around the list of like 2 through 10, but there was always number 1 that never changed. And that film is Arrival by Denis Villeneuve. And I really like that film. And I cannot really go too much into detail about that film right now because it's one of those films where you cannot talk about it without spoiling it because it has a synopsis where it's pretty simple. Like for those who haven't seen it, you can say, oh yeah, Arrival is a film about 12 extraterrestrial spaceships landing all over the world, and now everybody's trying to figure out who they are and why they're here. So that's like from the surface level, and that's from those who haven't seen it. But if you have seen it, you're going to say something completely different. You're going to say, "Oh no, the movie's not about that. It's
so much.
about yeah, it's about something else." And I cannot say what that something else is without spoiling it, but I will say the reason why I like this film is the same reason why I like, I like my life and everything, and I like everybody else here on this, everybody else here. And I'll tell you why. Because this film is not really meant to give you that sense of, like you watch it and then that's it, it's over. It's one of those things where you watch it, you're supposed to reflect on your life and the lives of other people and life itself, and you're going to connect with it. And that is when the film gets even stronger because you connect with it. Everybody that loves this film, they love it not because of what happens in the film, it's because of how we connect with it. Everybody is going to connect with this film on one level or another because, oh man, I really want to tell you guys so bad, but I can't. So, but in short, watch this film because it is great. But
That's something I'm definitely looking forward to watching as well. I should.
But if there was another film that
But
but
man,
as much as I was thinking about it and all that stuff, if there was another film that I had to pick other than Arrival that I actually could talk about, it would be The Love Witch by Anna Biller. And that would actually be my second favorite film of this year. And I highly recommend that as well, but it's no longer in the cinema since it's a very, very, very independent film, and it should be coming out on home video very soon and all that. But that film basically goes back to exploitation films, and it's very, how do I say it? Goofy in a way, but it's meant to be that way, but you're supposed to look at it seriously because there is a strong message going on in that film, similar to Arrival. So Arrival, there are so many different layers and so many different ways you can interpret it and all that, but the real point that Arrival is trying to give off is an experience and all that. So if you're watching Arrival just for the sake of entertainment, like watching it to see, okay, what happens? Well, if you're going to do that, you might be disappointed. If you're expecting an alien invasion movie, Arrival is not like that. It's actually far from it. It's more something deeper and all that. And so if you haven't seen...
Let's cut off Tark before he starts, like, in-depth analysis.
Yes, but so in conclusion, my favorite film of this year, it's definitely Arrival. Go watch it if you haven't seen it.
All right, so cool. And I'm just gonna mention mine because we talked about it last week and it was Rogue One. It was good. Go watch it. That's it.
Nice and simple.
I mean, since we made an episode last week about it, pretty much.
And go watch that one.
That a lot of people really liked, that someone actually mentioned in the chat was Suicide Squad. That's another one people were just like, hey, everybody should go check it out.
I never saw it, and
I was
not sure if I will.
I was highly disappointed. There was only two things that I enjoyed about that movie, and that was Harley Quinn, because Harley Quinn's the greatest.
Of course.
And the Joker, and he only appeared for like 10 minutes. So, besides that, don't get me wrong, all the characters were cool, but I think the writing was really sloppy in that movie. If you enjoyed it, that's on you.
That seems to be a regular thing on DC movies now, honestly. I haven't seen it myself. I'm just saying, like, that's a popular one that a lot of people really enjoyed, and that's often mentioned and stuff. But DC movies are kind of getting all over the place with their writing. And
yeah, to be honest, I think a lot of people towards that movie are pretty biased, though.
Yeah.
Not only that, hold on, because all right, the writing is sloppy because they're trying to catch up with Marvel.
Yeah.
It is the truth. Marvel's universe right now is fantastic. And
the thing is what they do is with the Marvel translations, they're honestly, they have a lot of writers. I feel like I'm getting the sense that DC doesn't have as many writers.
Maybe.
That's what it feels like, or they're lacking somewhere. Like there's just not enough people somewhere, or maybe there's just too many alternate universes for them to keep up with. But I don't even know if that's.
But that wasn't even the issue with Suicide Squad. I mean, yes, the writing was bad, but it was the editing as well. It was really bad.
I heard the continuity was kind of off there, but
Yes.
I'm
I
a
mean,
huge nitpicker with continuity. If you're going to have something missing, or if it's just like, oh, all of a sudden this person is not handcuffed magically. No.
Exactly. Yes.
Just you do stuff like that in a movie, I'm just gonna be like, all right, cool, I'm done with
Yeah.
this movie. I'll see
See,
you later.
I'm the same way. That's something that throws me off like too much. Like it's like a pet peeve almost, you know, where like it bothers you that they weren't consistent with this one thing. It's like it wasn't that hard to be consistent. Why did you do this? You just ruined something that I thought I was gonna like. So yeah, that happens to me too. I get you there.
all right, so let's move along. Some of us enjoy anime, some of us do not.
For those of us who do, though, who should we start with?
I'll go first. My anime of the year this year was Bungo Stray Dogs, and a lot of people are probably thinking to themselves, "What the hell is that?"
Pretty much.
Bungo Stray Dogs is actually a very, very unique anime in the sense that you have a lot of characters you connect with. It's not only the main character, but it's all the supporting cast. You can start connecting with these characters, and it's really entertaining. So in short, this one kid gets kicked out of the orphanary, or what do they call it? Orphanage, right?
Orphanage.
And I don't know, man. I'm blanking. So he gets kicked.
Orphans, you put them behind a little glass case, you know. And people come around, they tap on the glass. It's like, please don't
My
tap on
God.
the glass. Some nuns come around. Please don't tap on the glass. Please don't feed the children. We try not to as much as possible.
Right?
What?
So
I'm terrible.
so
Yes.
he gets kicked out. He doesn't know why. And he's on the verge of starvation. He's gonna die from starvation. He said he hasn't eaten in like 4 days or something. And he encounters someone who's trying to kill himself. So he saves the person who's trying to kill himself, and that dude ends up becoming a renowned detective. And he works with a detective group, and the kid ends up telling him that there's a tiger that's chasing him since he was in an orphanage, and everywhere that he goes, the tiger's chasing him. And so the
I think
the
that's a
detective
Japanese legend too, isn't it?
probably is. Who knows?
It's like one of the many stories that they have.
And it's really unique. I like the story of the anime. They give a lot of backstory, but the backstory doesn't distract you from the anime itself. It actually gets you closer to the characters, and they do a really good job at it. And it was a surprise anime. Season 2 came out this year, and I love season 2. And I think it's still going, and I'm highly anticipating the finish of it. I love it so far, and that's why it gets my anime of the year, because season 2 has been so good. And someone just mentioned Shokugeki no Soma,
I was gonna
which
say,
is
isn't that like Food Wars?
Food War Soma.
Yeah, I don't know.
Season 2 came out this year, and season 2 was phenomenal. And that was actually my second place, which is great. I loved Food War Soma. I love its quirky humor. It's so over the top, but at the same sense, you do make a connection with some of the characters. You actually get enthralled with the competitions and stuff, and it's so good. So it's a very fun anime to watch. I don't think it's been dubbed yet, so someday Goth Angel will watch it because it's so good. It's really good, and I'm pretty sure those who've seen it, they enjoy it because it's so quirky, it's so funny, it's so over the top, but at the same time, it's so entertaining. Like some of the smallest things, like they'll start eating something, and The next thing you know, they're naked, running into freaking.
I was just about to say it brings
What?
my favorite word to life, and that's foodgasm.
Yeah,
God.
they get.
Back to eating food in a particular way. I'm just like, yes, exactly. It's exactly how I feel when I eat like food like that. It's just like, yes.
They get naked and they're running through like a garden of sunflowers, and they're like, "This is so good!" Like one of my favorite ones in this last season was they ate something, all the judges, and they all wear like skin tight like Christmas clothes or something, and they're in a theme park, which is based off of what they ate. So they're all in the teacups, the spinning teacups, and it's like 4 females and the one guy. And the one guy is super jacked up, and he's in his skin tight clothes, and he's like, wee, and just spinning in a teacup. And it's just like, wow, this is so hilarious. It's so funny. Food War Soma is so good. But yeah, Bungo Stray Dogs has been phenomenal as well, and I totally recommend people who haven't seen it, go watch it. It's fun. You're not gonna regret it. And my number 3 would be Mob Psycho 100, which was so good as well.
Mob Psycho 100 was great too. One Punch Man came out last year, right?
Yes, it did.
Okay, just make sure. So, Mob Psycho 100 came out this year. So Mob Psycho 100 is definitely out by, I would say, on the top 3 so far because it's really, really good. I mean, the other guy that the main character is with, you'll see it in the first episode, despise that secondary character.
Hold on, wait, hold on. His master, his sensei?
Yeah.
He's so funny.
He's hilarious.
Oh my god.
But he's such a terrible human being for a character. It's just like,
Yes, he is.
I can't.
But he's
I
so
like.
funny,
I really
though.
want them to write you off so badly.
He's so funny. All right, so what about you, Brandon? What's your whatever of the year?
I mentioned mine, I just want to point out because Zero was mentioning that a lot of companies mess up the dubs. That is true. There's a lot of companies that are off about it. The problem is with a lot of stuff from Japan, it's really difficult to translate stuff between our 2 languages because our 2 languages in particular are just a lot of phrases. And
yeah.
you can't translate phrases. You have to just reimagine phrases. And then there's also like I guess you would say the native humor, like the humor that only applies to.
Yeah, it's a culture barrier.
Yeah, the culture barriers. There you go. So there's the culture barriers and stuff like that. It's really, really difficult to translate a lot of that. The voicing, I mean. It's really, really hard to pick out people who want to do voice acting. There's not a ton of people who want to do voice acting. It's hard to find the right vocal range.
I'm available.
Yeah, vocal range is, I think, a huge part of it, to be honest, though. Because a lot of people, they can do, like, very unique, widespread voices, but they can't really do more simplified voices when it comes to certain animes, like, let's say, slice of life animes, or, like, idol school drama animes. For typically those kind of animes, they want a voice that's a little more subtle. And it's really hard in the voice acting community for anime to find more subtle, neutral, like normal voices, you know? Because usually with anime we're thinking, oh, all these crazy voices that are like very cartoony, you know?
What are you talking about? Like this? Are you talking like this?
Exactly. A lot of people want to do those kind of voices, but they don't want to do just regular voices that you can hear every day.
I could talk
But I
normally.
can name for you 3, I would say specifically 2, but there are 3 that are widely regarded as like the best in dubbing. In some cases, there are a lot of people
Funimation,
who consider
Viz
the
Media.
dubbing, not the studio, I'm talking about just particular anime.
Oh.
There are particularly 3 of them that people would say that the dubbing is so good, and in one case in particular, I would say the dub version is actually better than the original version. The English dubbing is better than the original version.
DBZ.
That's yours. I mean,
DBZ. Cowboy Bebop.
Okay, yeah, sure. You could say DBZ. Cowboy Bebop was great too. That would be number 3. Is Cowboy Bebop. There's a lot of people who say Durarara was absolutely spot on.
That one's
All the
really good,
voicing,
actually.
all the voice acting, it was
I
absolutely
had no
perfect.
problem with the voices
My
in that one.
favorite of all time, though, and when it comes to dubbing and the way they carried it, the way they did it, has to be Bacano. If like so few people have seen it. AJ's seen it. Bacano, absolutely perfect with the voice acting. Like everyone does their accents absolutely perfectly.
But then again,
And I watched
Bacano's
the sub version, and it is just you can't even compare it. Like you just lost everything because there's no accents that match anything like that in Japan. There's just,
That is true.
but Bacano is a Funimation anime, so just
yeah,
throwing that
yeah.
out.
See, so
But
that's
they
a
were able
Funimation.
to find,
that.
and you know what it is? It definitely comes down to the accents because these are like old Boston and old New York accents and stuff like
Yes.
that. Like these are older accents from like the early 1900s and stuff like that, and that's what made those so phenomenal. And that translated into Durarara, where everyone's like an inner city person, and a lot of these voice actors are city people. They're from the city and stuff like that. They don't really go anywhere else or do anything, so they know and understand the look and feel and things like that. I think that's what makes those dubs actually better than.
You know, I would like to say one thing though, because I only watch English dubbed animes. I say don't count out English dubbed animes because there are some that are really good, like they mentioned. I don't particularly watch any of those except for like Dororo, but there are some really good ones, and it's all about finding the right actors that you like that are in those particular animes that make you like the English dubbed ones like a lot better. So I say like maybe even just look for those particular actors and see if they're in the animes that you want to watch. Maybe then you can try the English dubbed ones, you know? And
But
like
then-
you said, Funimation's a really good one for English dubbed
Yeah,
anime.
the
So
way they
if you
handled
want to
space
like
dancing.
basically yeah, so if like you want to basically guarantee that you're gonna like the anime and its voice acting, then maybe you want to go for mostly Funimation ones because they have done really good ones.
Sorry to cut you off again.
Go
They
ahead.
do have Funimation has their own site right now. They're pushing to be only dubbed, which is really
Yeah.
cool. So basically, if you're looking for dubbed anime specifically, it would be on Funimation, and then they're putting all their subtitled stuff on Crunchyroll because Crunchyroll has some difficulty filtering sub to dub. Funimation is upgrading everything. They're doing a lot of cool stuff, but basically it's gonna be a partnership, and Funimation has all the dub stuff. And right now I'm sub to it, and it's great to have like Funimation playing here while I'm doing something else because I don't have to sit and read the subtitles.
It's a
I
fact,
can
dude.
still catch up on it and all that kind of stuff. But so yeah, it's great. But going back to the original topic, which is our anime of the year. Sorry, I sidetracked so far. I just had to bring that up. But mine
Goth
has
Angel.
to be.
Oh,
I still
wait,
haven't done
yeah.
mine.
You didn't say it. Go ahead.
Mine has to be
Say it.
ReZero.
Okay.
User, yeah.
ReZero's really,
Mhm.
really good one. It's very, very dark, and the main character, you get so
I hate
little
him.
information. You get so little information about him. Normally they sit there and like go through like 2 hours of backstory and stuff like that throughout the season, and they'll go through all these things where it's like, yeah, you know, I used to have a little sister, it did this, and they spend like an entire episode flashbacking to his little sister. It's always like a little sister too. Or they'll be like, ha, we have your parents hostage, or ha, you're romantically in love with this girl from your childhood, we're gonna kill her, or something like that. Like, it's always something like that. This guy, he literally is a blank slate when he comes in, because his life was just so uninteresting. He's just like, yeah, I shut myself into my house, I don't do anything, but at the same time, he
have a
let
1 hour
his,
countdown to food.
he let
Cool.
his
11
interest in
PM?
anime and stuff
Good shit.
who he was, so he's always just like, I gotta be a hero. 5 minutes into the anime, he gets transported to another world, and he's just like looking around like, okay, so this is another world. And he's looking around and he sees like lizard drawn cards, like they're literally giant dragons and everything, and he's like, huh.
Strange.
And he sees a girl in danger, and he's just like, I know what this is. I've been transported to another world. This is where I figure out I have powers, right? So he's like, alright, let me try using magic. And he tries using it, and nothing happens. He's just like, okay, I can't use magic, and this is not that kind of world. It's like, So he's trying to like go through the process that he goes through in every video game, and the process that we go through when we're watching an anime. Like, what kind of world is this? That's what mental process he goes through. So that shows what kind of a shut-in he is, and it shows like he's relatable to the people on the outside, but at the same time, stuff goes through where you find out he's a key component to that world now after he's been teleported there, and he's supposed to be the physical embodiment of something, and when you find out what it is and what he is and stuff like that, he is absolutely perfect for his role. They perfectly made all of these characters, and they want you to get attached to like certain people and just watch tragedy after tragedy after tragedy unfold and wrench out your heart and everything. And it's great. It's great in a lot of ways. I definitely recommend it.
Sounds like something I'd love hate.
I
would love hate the hell out of that.
You would not enjoy the main character because I have a deep distaste for him.
It's because, you want to know why, AJ? It's because, I hate to spoil it if anybody doesn't want to hear it.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. No, don't spoil it. Even my cousin saying don't spoil it. So if he says don't spoil it, don't spoil it.
What's going on? Right,
don't spoil it.
AJ, so you've seen the first season. You know
I've
what he's supposed to be.
I know who he is, yes, but don't spoil it.
AJ, the reason you don't like it is because he's basically you. That's why you don't like it. Basically you.
AJ. Oh my god. He knew it was true. He didn't even.
He is totally you.
God.
When you edit this and put it on YouTube, please take these out.
No, I'm going straight on.
Well, now he has to take it out twice, AJ. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
you can just cover my thing with like parental advisory or something.
No, I'm gonna put a little emoji over it because that's the cool thing to do now. You know what I'll do? I'll cover your middle fingers with middle finger emojis. That's how I'll censor you.
Alright, so to wrap it up though, Brandon loves ReZero. There we go. Yeah. That's his movie. That's the anime of the year.
What's
Let's
your anime?
To mine real quick.
Yes.
I don't think this anime actually came out this year, so I'm sorry because I have not watched anime in a while though, and Netflix picks up things really late. So I saw this year though. It was a Your Lie in April, and I'm not going to go into details about it because I feel like anything I say is going to basically kind of give you spoilers. But what I will say is that it's a beautiful anime if you love music, especially classical music, and even if you don't, it's an anime that has very many things to it. So there's concepts like romance is a huge part of the whole anime, and the music, of course, is a huge part of the anime as well. So it is also like it's a very sad, emotional anime as well. So I'll say that it does a lot to your mentality, you know. So there you go. Those are really huge concepts of the entire show, and it's really good. Like if you haven't seen that anime, I would suggest that one just because it has so many different aspects to it that I feel like a lot of people would enjoy. So
this is my loving cousin over here. Love this guy. What was your favorite movie this year?
That's a tough question to ask. I didn't see that many movies this year.
Okay.
So I can't really have a final say.
But what was one of your favorite movies this year? Just
I loved Deadpool this year.
Okay.
I thought it fucking blew me away.
Okay. And what else? He said you have good taste. So Deadpool is your favorite movie?
Was it my favorite? That's like, it's hard for me to say it's my favorite.
Okay.
In my personal opinion, it's the best Marvel movie that Fox has ever made.
Okay. Well, I agree. Okay. And what was your favorite game this year?
Favorite game this year?
I'll answer. His favorite game this year was Street Fighter.
Well, I didn't play much video games, though.
I know you didn't.
I can't really have an answer for that.
All right. So
it's like saying it's like fucking. It's like Aladdin voting for himself.
Yeah.
So I can't really...
He's kind of smashed right now. So
that doesn't mean I can't talk.
I know you, but yeah. All right. So
Alright, well, that was pretty much my brief explanation of the whole anime, though, so it's okay. Um, so pretty much, though, I definitely do recommend seeing Your Lie in April, because it was something that, like, at the end of it, I was just like, oh my god, I thought about this anime, and I thought about life in general for about a week or two, so it's something that definitely makes you think a lot. So if unless you don't like thinking, maybe don't watch it. But it does make you think, and it does make you really emotional. But the whole musical aspect to it will definitely blow you away. That's definitely a good reason to watch it in general. So that's it for me.
Oh,
Is that
before
it?
before we go to what we're looking forward to,
No, wait. Where's Tark? Where's Tark? I know Tark doesn't watch anime,
well, yeah,
but
this is,
Well,
But-
there
but
is
Tark-
one anime that I did watch that was released this year.
but first,
Surprise,
AJ,
surprise.
lower your speakers
hold on.
this
What
is-
anime?
this
Hold on.
is
I want to
causing-
know what anime
AJ,
this
your
is.
speakers are causing feedback. Lower them down a little bit.
It's true. Okay, hold on. That's why. Give me a second.
Sorry guys, when it comes to anime, AJ tends to become really hype.
Yes, of course. All right, so okay, my bad. That was my fault. I apologize, everyone. Tark, what anime did you watch this year?
No, I'm just gonna make it blatant short. And I'm just gonna say I liked it. It was great. Done. And that anime was Final Fantasy 15 Brotherhood. That's it.
Okay, fair enough. I saw
I
that.
gotta watch that one.
It was pretty good. Yes. All right. Okay, but Tark, since he does not watch anime,
Much.
but Tark is a fond fan of books.
I was waiting for it.
Okay, that had to get out. Tark, what book did you enjoy this year?
Oh boy, what did I not enjoy this year? Well, I guess if I were to pick one, I think my favorite novel of 2016 was Swing Time by Zadie Smith, and this is the first Zadie Smith novel that I read, and it was actually pretty good, really good. What am I talking about? It was great. I liked it, and it's very rare that. Because I honestly don't remember the last time I read a novel and the art of dancing was present throughout, and it was trying to tell a story about people getting into dance, like a certain type of dancing. And I don't remember the last time I read a novel about that where dancing was played a role and it was a theme within the story, and I guess that's one of the things that caught my attention. And other than that, it was really emotional and it was really entertaining, a great read, and it has so many messages about people and so many messages about how we can connect to one another on like a more personal level through art and all that stuff. It's almost similar to what we're doing here and all that, and it's really great, and I highly recommend it to all of you. And if you guys don't read, two things: one, I recommend this book. It might get you to start reading, and two, if you don't read, just read.
It's funny you mentioned that the dancing's in it. It's usually not in this. It's usually medium like films or something like that.
Yeah.
It's like it's something where they can physically show it because
Yeah.
it is difficult to explain through writing.
Yeah, it's hard to describe.
But I think it's really, really interesting that they decided to put it in the medium of a novel, and it's really, really cool. It's definitely something I want to check out because usually I love stuff like that as far as like film and other medium goes. So but it is interesting that they decided to do that for the novel.
Yes.
I wonder if it's going to be, since it's really, really good apparently, I wonder if it's going to be something that gets adapted later on, because usually with something like this that's that good, they'll translate it.
Yep, that's what I was gonna say. I hope it becomes a movie.
Oh no, I hope it doesn't.
No, in a way I don't. I feel like maybe a book like this will encourage other writers to try to do things like that.
And
Try
it's
to
so
describe these things that are hard.
If it's something really emotional, usually what I would expect is what's called like a mini series. So it's like 5-hour-long episodes or something like that to actually get the depth of the story, because otherwise you kind of like almost waste a chunk of the story, just not getting everything in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of backstory for a lot of the characters in this book. Like, they were explaining how, one of the main girls, her father was a backup dancer for Michael Jackson at one time, and she met up with a friend during tap dancing lessons. It's a really great book. This book, I
Yeah,
really liked
that's
it.
exactly why they would do something like that in a mini series. It's because there's so much little things that are
Mm.
really good. It's good to catch on. It's good to catch that and stuff like that. I feel like it'd be perfect for something like that rather than a movie where you're like, oh hey, this was an okay movie. I just hope they don't waste something like this on a movie. That's what
Yeah.
I'm hoping for.
All right, so
Right, to wrap it up.
yeah, we're gonna try and get this as fast as possible. But since we're gonna finish 2016, we have to see what we're looking forward to 2017. And someone pointed out, next Kingdom Hearts. Is that
It's
something we're
not.
looking?
It's not next year. It can't be.
Oh, no one knows, But what are you guys looking forward to next year? Me, I like games. I think we all like games. We're on Twitch. So, first question. What games are you looking forward to in 2017?
Alright, I'll go first actually, because I'm more of a short, simple person. One of the games I was looking forward to, because I have not played it yet, even though it's out, is The Walking Dead Season 3. And I know a lot of people are looking forward to this game because it's been so long and they delayed it already, and then we're like, yes, it's finally out, so everyone has this like sort of hype about it. They're all like, oh my god, I can't wait to see what's gonna happen next. And even though they did give us 2 episodes already, we don't know what the next episodes after that are gonna be like. So for those of you who are like, I already played it, yeah, I get that, but you haven't seen the next few episodes yet, have you? Therefore, I bet we're all pretty much like on the edge of our chairs, just waiting for what's gonna happen next. And to me, this has been something I've been waiting for since season 2 ended. Like, as soon as season 2 ended, I was like, oh my gosh, they have to make a new season. I can't wait till it's out. I can't wait to see what they're gonna do with Clementine. Like, she's a huge part of the story, and everyone freaking adored her. She's like the sweetest little girl in like video game history.
And from the
So
trailer, it looks like she's done a lot of growing up. They really
yeah,
are
they really
focusing
did.
on her. I like that.
What I loved, yeah,
She's
what
a
I
great
love
character.
about this series is that they did a lot of time skips, so you can like enjoy it more. So you could be like, okay, this is getting a little, boring. You don't want to see someone at the same age for too long, because then you're just like, she can't do that much yet. She's not old enough to do this, or she can't have, let's say, a romance because she's too young. Stuff like that. And this is something I'm looking forward to because of how old she is now. It's like, oh my gosh, there's so much that could possibly happen, and I'm looking forward to it because of these things, these little details that are going to define the story in the future. So that's one of the games I'm looking forward to. Next one is Resident Evil 7, because even though I have not played the entire full series of Resident Evil, I do enjoy the entire thing. I enjoy it for what it is, and a lot of them I haven't played, but I have watched. So I do look forward to just seeing how this next one's supposed to be. And I am hearing a lot of rumors that it's supposed to be more closely to how Resident Evil truly was in the beginning. So this is something I'm definitely like hyped about, and this is something that I will actually think about getting. So I can't wait to see what everything is going to be like, the mechanics, the story, everything. I'm just so excited about the whole thing in general.
I played it already. I played the first 2 episodes, and I will tell you.
Yeah.
I will tell you. Well, I did play the Resident Evil trailer. I mean,
You will tell us very
demo.
vaguely.
I will. Yeah, of course.
Nay or yay,
No, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I'm very much looking forward to the next 3. As everyone says, there is a time skip, and you see Clementine. I won't say much, but she's not the same little girl we love.
Depending on what you did, also. Because
No,
the story is-
she's
yeah,
no,
but still, there's certain
no.
things that even the developers were talking about that if you did certain things in the game, certain things will be there or not there. Therefore, in that aspect, I am also looking forward to seeing some characters that I plan on seeing or not seeing them. Therefore, it's like a big thing where you're like, oh, what's gonna happen next?
Yeah,
You know?
it's getting really hard for them to write
Getting
these
intense.
things because
It is.
the tree just goes out so
There's
far.
so much to keep a track of
It's
too.
just a lot of choices. So it's
Yeah.
like all branched off into one choice that you started from the very beginning.
Yes, exactly.
So the possibilities are endless, and I really do enjoy that aspect in the Walking Dead game. So
real quick, I wanted to do mine just because it's not gonna be it's nothing we have a ton of information about. I'm really hoping we, at the very least, get a good amount of information soon enough. But I'm hoping it comes out this year as Cyberpunk 2077.
Cyberpunk.
And if you guys haven't seen the trailer for it, it is beautiful. It is really, really awesome. I am so excited to see what they do with this game. Just check it out. This is absolutely right down my alley. This is just sci-fi. This is cyberpunk, and I love cyberpunk.
Yes, he does.
what about you, Tark?
What about me? What?
Any games you're looking forward to?
2?
Yes.
Forward to.
And 2017.
All right. Well, if I were to pick two video games I'm looking forward to for
Not
20.
two, but what you're looking forward to.
Oh, what am I looking forward to? Well, when it comes to video games, I am really looking forward to Friday the 13th. I haven't played the beta yet. But I am a big fan of the film series. I've seen all of them, but I haven't played the beta yet. Mainly because I didn't get my hands on it. But that's okay. I want to save my experience for the actual game when it comes out, and I'm really excited for it. And I've been excited since last year when they announced it, and it just goes to show you how far they've come into development. And the people who have played the beta, all I heard was nothing but good things, and it was fun, and above all, it was actually pretty chilling. It's actually scary. And people are already trying to compare it to Dead by Daylight, and I don't know if they should, because even though both games on paper sounds like it's the same, but in actuality it is something different, and it is going to be different.
There's always going to be games that kind of feel the same, or they have some of the same aspect. That doesn't technically mean they're going to be the same, So I think we should all wait for judgment on that day.
Judgment on that day, Judgment Day. But anyway, yes, I am really looking forward to that and all that. Another game, if I were to say another one, would be The Last of Us 2. If Friday the 13th doesn't count. So, yeah. And so when it comes to novels, I am really looking forward to Paula Hawkins' next book. She is the writer of The Girl on the Train, and she's writing another suspense novel, and I'm really looking forward to see how she likes to dive into our psyche like she did with her last one. And my most anticipated film of 2017 is Blade Runner 2049. I have been a big fan of the original Blade Runner and the novels that came out after it. And basically, I honestly think Blade Runner, the film and the novel, didn't really need a sequel, but whatever. But it's going to be, the sequel of the film is going to be directed by Denis Villeneuve, and he directed Arrival. And after what I've seen from Arrival and his other works that he has made, I really think he is the best choice for Blade Runner 2049. And it just gets me even more excited that he is a part of it, because they first announced the sequel and I was like, all right, yeah, let's see how they do it. And then when they said he's involved, I was like, okay, I'm actually genuinely excited for it now. And so, yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to when it comes to all this.
One thing, AG, if you're talking, we cannot hear you.
I'm talking to my cousin. I don't want
Okay, just making sure, because I did.
No. He wants to get in on this as well. Sure. He's like my cousin's never seen Blade Runner, and I'm just telling him. I'm just telling him, Tark, he's interested in Blade Runner, and he's like, I gotta watch it because I'm looking forward to it as well. My cousin, he's huge movie buff, but he has not seen Blade Runner, so we need to get him up on that.
Yeah,
Blade Runner status.
Most certainly. I usually get into the movie once I get the opportunity.
Yeah, I know you do. He loves once he gets into the movie, he'll study it and he'll dive right into it. So, okay, so since Tark just went in and did everything on his list.
Oh, my bad.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Just got it out of the way quickly.
You got it out of the way. So with me, my game of my most anticipated game of next year is Tekken 7, and no, because for one, Street Fighter came out, and I don't have a PlayStation, which bummed me out because it was a PlayStation exclusive, and I'm like, damn it, I would love to play Street Fighter, but I don't have a PlayStation or a PC. So like when they announced Tekken, they announced that it's coming out for like all consoles, I was just super excited. I've always been a Tekken fan. I love the story of Tekken. I've always liked the combat in Tekken. It's more realistic than every other game. It is, okay. And it's just another continuation of the Tekken story, the Tekken universe.
This is going to be the conclusion of that saga.
It's the conclusion, as my cousin's saying. And I'm very excited for it. And I'm hoping that we get the old school fighting system back. I was a huge fan of the Tekken 4 fighting system, and I'm hoping that it reverts back to that, if not grab elements of Tekken 4 and put it into the new fighting system as well.
I want to add on to what you said. Speaking of Tekken 4, it's not necessarily going to have the style of Tekken 4, but one thing that it will definitely take from Tekken 4 is the story. Out of all the Tekkens, Tekken 4 definitely had the darkest storyline. And I think Tekken 7's story will most definitely be taking that tone as well. It's going to answer so many questions of the story and everything, like why Heihachi threw Kazuya out of the mountain, the origin of the Devil Gene, and so on. So all that is going to be answered, and I can't wait to know all about it.
Well, since my cousin's here, what game are you looking forward to in 2017?
Well, I have to jump into the fighting game bandwagon once again. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. I remember the rumors from about 2 months ago. It was hard to believe. Like, the rumors were flying like wildfire. And I just didn't think about the possibility. But
gotta run it fast.
Okay, but that is like my most anticipated game of the year. I know I've been on Street Fighter a lot, but I'm most definitely going to jump into Marvel vs. Capcom once it comes out. A big rumor that's flying is that there may not be any X-Men characters, and despite the fact that I love the X-Men so much, it won't bother me much because I love all the other Marvel characters.
We'll bring this guy in here. This guy right here. He plays Street Fighter, and he's trying to get into the competitive circuit. So he plays a whole bunch of fighting games. Him and I, we're gonna mash it out on Tekken. He's gonna play. He still plays Street Fighter, and he's also gonna be playing a lot of the Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite.
Once it comes out.
So he's excited for that. I'm excited for that. No X-Men, hopefully.
I'm okay with that.
As long as we get
losing Sentinel, so it's an
human.
As long as you say that means we're losing Sentinel.
I don't care, man.
We're losing Sentinel, so it's an acceptable loss.
I'm okay with that. No Wolverine, even then. Again, as much as I love X-Men, totally fine with X-Men whatsoever.
Like to cheat, that's why.
So he's like talking. I know you can't hear. I'm sorry, man. But we're geeked out. We love fighting games. I love. But my other game of next year, if it does come out, Cuphead. I'm looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, Cuphead.
And I just can't. If it does come out, it's gonna be huge. I'm gonna be very excited for that.
I'm gonna be adding another game that I'm looking forward to, and it's going to be the Guardians of the Galaxy game from Telltale.
Okay.
That's gonna be interesting. I didn't know they were doing one.
Yeah, I'm loving it. I loved Walking Dead Season 1. I have yet to play the other seasons, but the Telltale game style,
they're spot on.
It's so unique, and I'm digging it.
So, okay, speaking of Guardians of the Galaxy, that's going to be my most recommended movie of next year. And the whole family's here. Good, yeah. So, the whole Guardians for next year, Volume 2, I'm so excited for that. I'm geeked out. Love the trailer. I love the humor of it. I love just the whole characters. Very excited for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 for next year. And what about you? What's your movie for next year?
Well, besides the usual suspects of the Guardians and the usual Marvel movies and DC movies, I'm gonna have to throw a curveball, and I'm gonna have to put in Stephen King's It. It's my anticipated movie.
Nice.
They said nice. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I actually remember watching the miniseries, and I actually read the book years later. And I was just blown away by the book and just how freaky it was, and what's really been grinding my gears about all the comments about the movie coming out is the amount of times people have been calling it a remake. It just angers me. Like I just want to punch them in the face and just remind them it's not a remake. People forget that the version with Tim Curry that came out in the 90s was a 2-episode miniseries. So this is like the first legit feature-length film adaptation of that.
And it's gonna be more accurate to the novel.
Away with it,
Yeah.
which I'm very excited for.
He said it's going to be more accurate to the novel, which I agree.
Yes.
And I hate clowns so much that I.
Did you read the novel, AJ?
You're gonna be surprised. Okay, I've read almost. I'm gonna say all the movies that have been adapted from the novels. I've read. I'm gonna say 75% of them.
Oh.
So in fourth, Tark, I do know what books are, and I do know.
But you don't read original novels that are not films yet. Why is that?
No, the first. Okay, so for example, the first movie that the first novel I read that I didn't see the movie until later on, A Clockwork Orange.
Oh.
And I liked A Clockwork Orange, the movie, just because it actually came pretty close to the book.
All right, and not to interrupt, but just to get back on topic here.
Back on topic.
I would like to state I'm also looking forward to Guardians of the Galaxy as well. And Brandon, your take.
So yeah, for games, because I didn't think about games before. If they fix the optimization issues with Scalebound, and I don't know if anyone saw the trailer. Not a lot of people console players mostly wouldn't be able to see what I saw. There was some pretty crazy optimization issues there. If they could fix that though, I am totally gonna be up for that. I would like to play that and everything. I think that would be fun. I'm trying to think of what other games I would probably enjoy watching, if any, or playing through, if any. Yeah, right now it's just Scalebound, because I mean the idea of playing this dragon and everything like that, and controlling this dragon, and then you're a person. It's I would say realistic to the degree of that you will get destroyed by these monsters if you just try to be this super ridiculous human being, because you're not. You're literally doing minor amounts of damage and everything. Your ability is to strategize. That's what the key is there. There's Scalebound. Oh yeah, that's right. I almost forgot about State of Decay. State of Decay 2 is going to be adding in a lot of stuff that
multiplayer.
Talking about.
I have not played this, but it sounds good. I've seen some of it, so.
Yeah. So let me see if I can pull up a image of the banner for that. But then there's State of Decay 2. I'm super excited for it if it ends up like as good or better than the original one, plus it has multiplayer. That's definitely going to add to something I want to do. And that's just another zombie survival/horror game, you know. And as you guys noticed from my games I talked about earlier, 7 Days to Die was on there. My friends and I really like the survival games for zombies. And that's something we do a lot. We throw them up on our
Zombie games are awesome.
Oh yeah, we throw from up on a server and everything like that. I mentioned Cyberpunk because I was looking forward to that one as far as
Yes.
games go. But going back to films and stuff, for films, what I'm looking forward to is probably the most is going to be Logan. Because it's going to be a bit of a departure from like the normal X-Men stuff where it's like we have to use our powers and go nuts and all these explosions and save the world and everything. And this is like going way past the Days of Future Past timeline where everyone's already dead. It's already too late. There is nothing to be done. Everything is already over, and now it's just about survival. And you're dealing with Logan. Somehow Professor X is still there, and somehow he's still up and running, but
He's immortal. What do you expect?
he's just it's so ridiculous. Like, this guy is physically handicapped, but he still manages to
He's so
outlive
awesome,
everyone and
though.
everything.
He's immortal. What do you
He's an
expect?
awesome guy, though. I like him
He's
as
the
a
most
character.
strongest. He's the strongest mutant ever. Like, how are you gonna kill someone who can like literally just be like, "I want you dead"?
I mean, there have been ways they've stopped him before.
Yeah, but he's so powerful, dude.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, he's powerful, but like, for one, he believes on not abusing his powers.
No, of course not. Right? But he is a god level mutant.
He is very powerful. I will give it that much. So I'm looking forward to Logan. I can't wait to see what they do with the movie because the idea that instead of X23, instead of X23 being a like somewhere in the mid to late 20s girl who I think it's like 18 actually, but instead of being this like more adult girl who's going crazy and killing everything and so on and so forth, I'm almost positive it's going to be one of the X models that this little girl is because they haven't actually stated it, but I'm hoping it's going to be about like teaching her to control her rage issues and her powers and everything like that. I feel like it's going to be a really good movie in that way.
Talking about
And all about keeping her alive and protecting her from these terrible people in this like basically post-apocalyptic wasteland. Another thing I'm really hoping that DC is gonna do correctly, and this is a real stretch because they don't have a great track record with their stories and everything right now. But I'm really hoping that Wonder Woman is gonna turn out to be much better than some of the other films because if at least they turn it around with that. Her story is not terribly difficult. They turn around with that. We can go into Justice League. We can do good stuff. Like DC can actually do something useful aside from their animated series. Young Justice is going to be another one that I'm looking forward to. Hopefully that comes out next year. But
my cousin wanted to say something real quick about Wonder Woman. Quick.
I really believe that the movie will be quality over quantity, unlike the other DC movies.
I hope
That's
so.
all I can say.
really hoping so.
I believe that's how the film will succeed.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean
and-
the whole thing with DC though, their editing and their writing has been pretty bad
And rushed.
and rushed. Yes,
Yeah.
the movies have felt
That's
rushed.
true. That.
They're
That's
trying
the
to
problem.
compete.
They're not given the proper time needed to develop what they can be.
don't really care.
They just want the money. Just want the money. That's it. All right. So what about you, Goth? Or do you
Oh,
have
I
anything
said mine
else?
already.
Oh,
It
you
was
did
just the
Any games?
Guardians of the Galaxy.
say. All right, and my anime
I
for
said
next
Resident
year.
Evil games.
My anime
About,
next year.
The For Honor game, I'm hoping is going to be good too.
Wait, what?
My-
Sorry, cut off.
And I'm also looking forward to Mass Effect Andromeda. That's another one. I love the story. I want to see what happens after 3, if it ties up to 3. So, but we're gonna do anime and book of the year. My anime for next year is One Punch Man. What else can I say? It's funny, hilarious. It's very entertaining. I'm looking forward to One Punch Man season 2 of next year. So,
For it's not anime, but a sequel for next year that I'm waiting for has to be the Rick and Morty sequel.
yes.
Waiting on the new season of that. And going back to games, I mentioned For Honor. I'm really hoping that's gonna be really good because that is a samurai game. That is straight up just a full-out samurai.
Sounds like
game.
you.
That's
Yeah.
gonna be so much fun.
It's samurais, ninjas, freaking Vikings, and what else? They have something else in there as well. So it looks like it's gonna be fun. So, but Brandon, guess what? You gotta get Swifty. What about you, Lucen? Are you waiting for anything next year?
Firstly, most of the animes I watch are really short series, so there's no actual season 2. I think the only season 2 ones that I was like hoping for was a season 2 Decay, which probably will never come out. So I have no hopes.
Oh, and if it does come out next year, and if it does, I'm hoping it does.
Even if it does, it will take a while to be dubbed, so I'm lost.
All right, but for me, if it does come out next year, fully coolly with the 8 episodes of hope that I'm hoping does come out.
I don't know.
Probably,
if it does come out, it'll come out by the end of the year, like
Probably.
24.
But still, though, it's fully coolly. It's fully
It's a
coolly.
long time, especially with the quality that they expect or
Yes.
they want to put out. It takes a long time to do that, even with a big studio.
What about you, Tark? Book of the year for next year.
Next year, I already
I
said.
you
said
did
I'm
say
looking forward to Paula Hawkins' next novel.
Yeah,
All right.
I said everything here.
So that's our recap for 2016, our anticipation for 2017. I am hoping all you guys enjoy your holidays, your Xmas, your New Year's, your Hanukkahs, your Kwanzas, your
Whatever you celebrate.
Goodman,
Or
your
don't.
Day of Goodman. I am very hoping that next year I can actually succeed in what I want to do, which is voice acting. If you see this, I am looking for employment in voice acting. Please hire me. I will not recommend any animes this week, but here's what I will do. I want you guys to look back. If you guys enjoy anime, look back on what animes came out this year and think.
Looking back at the ones we were talking about too.
Yes.
We talked about a lot.
Yes, just look back. I know that there's a lot of animes I missed out, like Twin Star Exorcist, really good. What else came out? Trickster was really good. There's a whole bunch that I can just mention. Just look back at the year, recap games, recap movies, recap, and just look at what you enjoyed this year and hope that you can get better things next year. I'm hoping I do get Cupman next year. I'm hoping that Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is really good. I'm hoping that Tekken 7 is amazing. I'm hoping that we get more games that we got this year or the prior years, and we enjoy them more. And I'm hoping that everyone has a great holiday. They succeed next year. That this podcast gets bigger. That this podcast gets more successful. That we end up getting our stuff together. And but most importantly, that everyone still comes here and gets entertained, because that's what we do it for. We do it to entertain not only you guys, but ourselves. We love talking about these things. We really do like it when everyone comes in here and starts talking with us and they start inputting their own stuff as well. We love that. And so I'd like to thank my cousin. He lent me his computer, and I need to get my stuff together as well. And I hope that we all succeed next year in whatever we want to do. Most of us have our goals, and I hope that we do reach those goals. And I hope that, again, we just have a great year next year. So this is our last podcast of 2016. We would like to thank everyone, again, for stopping by. You guys have been awesome. I'd like to thank these beautiful people in the podcast. You guys are awesome. I'd like to thank myself as well, because I am awesome.
Of course. Oh, and one more thing I would like to say before we go if you're not celebrating anything this year, it's totally okay. Go about your day, enjoy your day. I hope that you are having a lovely week. I know this is all about like usually celebrations and holidays and all this stuff, but if you don't celebrate any of that, it's okay. Just try your best to have fun before the year's over and do your best in the next year.
Yeah, that's how it is. I usually say think positive,
Yes.
but there's a lot of people
Stay
that don't think positive.
Try to.
So here's what I say. Just have fun. Just have fun.
I approve
Whatever
that.
you're doing, as long as you're not doing anything illegal
I
or
mean,
criminal
could do, but
or stuff that I would frown.
just don't go into jail before the year's over, and don't start off your year in jail, okay?
Word. So on that note, thank you guys so much. Again, last podcast. I hope everyone has a fantastic holiday, and we will be back. Hopefully the 7th of January.
Yeah, that'll be the first Saturday.
Goes well. Everybody should take the time to plan this out. But yeah, the 7th should be our day back.
And whatever you do, do not be reckless on the holidays. This is a lot of the times, a lot of people are reckless, like drinking and driving.
You're gonna get drunk, be careful.
And doing stuff that they shouldn't. Be careful, be responsible, and just enjoy it, but don't be reckless. And I hope everyone just has a great holiday.
All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. And keep a lookout for all of our updates for January. And like AJ said, all of you have a good rest of your week and good rest of your year. And see you guys soon. But above all else, have a happy holidays from our hearts.
Oh yeah, brother. I hope you enjoy your holidays. Say your prayers, eat your vitamins, and whatever you do, always be safe and think positive. Oh yeah.
Alright, everybody, goodbye.
All right. Have a good night. See you guys later. Until next time.